NASCAR fans remember the 2001 Pepsi 400 at Daytona as one of the greatest races as well as greatest moments in the sport's history. But while that 2001 Pepsi 400 is remembered forever, the other one we're going to talk about is largely forgotten.
TNT Sports presents the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Today it's the Pepsi 400, live from the Michigan International Speedway. This wide 2-mile track offers the one key element essential to great racing: speed.
If you're confused by the title still, back in the day there were actually two races called the Pepsi 400, the one at Daytona and another one that took place a little over a month later at Michigan. The 2001 Pepsi 400 at Michigan took place on August 19, 2021. Ricky Craven and Bill Elliott made up the front row, and this race might possibly end early due to weather. Take a look at what the track surface looked like the day prior compared to race day. Definitely a green racetrack due to all of the rain that took place the night before. When the cars went under pace laps for the first time, it took a while to get the race going due to all of the rain that was pouring down. You had some droplets pouring, but it wasn't enough to completely delay the race. But it certainly let teams know that it was going to be a factor, and perhaps the race wasn't going to go the full distance. Fortunately, after running some pace laps, the rain eventually stopped for a little bit, and the race got underway.
200 laps for 400 miles here in Michigan. Some 136,000 on their feet. We are ready to start the Pepsi 400. Craven and Elliott side by side for the lead.
Bill Elliott led the first 10 laps, but eventually Ricky Rudd, who was competing for the championship that season, took the lead and held on to it for a little while. In second was Bill Elliott, third was Ricky Craven, Casey Atwood was running in fourth, and battling for fifth early on was Sterling Marlin. We're going to return to him later on. But for now, green flag pit stops were taking place, the first of the day, and Ricky Rudd, as well as the rest of the front runners, seemed to have no issues until the entire field gathered back up together and Bill Elliott was now back in the lead. Fortunately, Rudd's car was good enough to get him back and eventually took the lead once again. The field had just finished their second set of green flag pit stops right before the first caution of the day came out for rain. Because of the timing of the caution, some cars hadn't even pitted yet, and this included Mark Martin, who was now the leader of the race. We've ran 100 of the 200 laps with Mark Martin now in the lead, followed by Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Ricky Craven, and Casey Atwood. But fortunately, this looks like just another pop-up shower, so all the drivers, crews, and fans just needed to wait this one out.
Alto Reed, saxophonist for the Silver Bullet Band. Take us to commercial, Alto. Impromptu jam session is broken out in Victory Lane here at the Michigan International Speedway. You go, Alto. Even brought his own dancers with him.
I like that.
All right, Bill Weber, your turn.
No rhythm from those dancers whatsoever. You gotta love it. Fortunately, the rain had stopped and the track was 100% dry and the racing was set to get back underway. Once it went green again, the usual cream rose to the top. But sadly, for one of our front runners, their day would end early due to mechanical failures.
Oh, Ricky Rudd finally has, the engine has expired on the 28.
They'll clear to come down.
Like I said,
Yeah, like you said.
sometimes they'll go and sometimes they'll...
Get down when you can. Get down anytime. Got a big clearing.
Second caution of the race, Ricky Rudd. second place man in the
You're
championship.
coming by you. Stay on the bottom.
Once it went green again, Bill Elliott mustered up enough speed to fly by the 12 of Jeremy Mayfield to retake the lead. But racing on the long run was a much different story, as Bill Elliott was now leading Sterling Marlin, Ricky Craven, Dave Blaney, and Matt Kenseth. Everyone was vying for their first win, especially Dodge trying to get their first win since 1977 in NASCAR, and now you had arguably the two best Dodge drivers, Sterling Marlin and Bill Elliott, duking it out for the victory. Marlin eventually got by Elliott in his famous number 40 Silver Bullet and never looked back. His team was begging NASCAR for a caution because it was raining. It's raining on the track. But it's all good. They didn't have to run too many laps afterwards until a caution finally came out. Sterling Marlin and this number 40 Silver Bullet finally were gonna get a win.
Caution. Caution's coming out for rain.
Caution down.
They're racing back to the yellow flag. Is this the end of the event? Has just come off a pit road, and Marlin's going to get to the caution first.
Harder.
And that's a tough call. I mean, NASCAR knows well enough that you can't run these tires in any kind of dampness.
Come on, rain. Tony says, come on, rain, please.
And the word is the checkered flag will be displayed when they come back to the start-finish line. This one's over.
And Sterling Marlin has pulled it off. He and Tony Glover, Lee McCall, and an entire Dodge team.
This is one of the greatest racing moments for not only Sterling Marlin and Chip Ganassi, but Dodge as well. You gotta remember, they had just re-entered the sport in 2001. It was certainly one of the greatest team turnarounds as well, as the old Sepco team was now Chip Ganassi Racing, and now all of a sudden they went from struggling to competing for wins. This was also a major deal for Sterling Marlin as he finally ended a winless drought that dated back all the way to 1996. This would be one of Marlin's 4 wins in the Silver Bullets, as he made a total of 274 starts with this team, totaling 4 wins, 27 top 5s, and 76 top 10 finishes. The 2001 Pepsi 400 at Daytona is largely remembered by NASCAR fans, while the 2001 Pepsi 400 at Michigan is largely forgotten. Lastly, in 2002, both races would have the exact same title name once again before Michigan switched it up in 2003. And once again, that'll do it for another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Black Flags Matter. Catch you next time.